thought today game was a little different, something that we needed to work on as far as our energy, level 5, and the things that are required for us to do it. The win, things that we work on, and I ask a lot of these guys. It's very hard to do things that we are asking them to do with their level and their consistency, and I think that's where we're young in the season and we're learning. We're learning a lot of lessons. These last 2 games, have helped us. We've gotten better. We got things that we need to continue to work on, but these guys are giving me everything they have, and I got to continue to coach them a little bit better, coach them a little bit harder, and challenge them a little bit harder. And I know they'll respond because we know what we're capable of, and we're not there yet. So, it's early in the season. We got to continue to work on that.
Questions, please.
Nate, what did Kansas do defensively that forced you guys to take a lot of late in the shot clock shots and just kind of force some things up?
They just switched, and they're a pretty big team. So when they switch, it's just like we got to be more aggressive. I feel like we kind of got taken out of our things because of them switching.
Adrian, it seemed like consistent offense was hard to come by today. Where can you look to get more consistent offense? Is there, obviously, until Donnie gets back?
For me, it's not about the offense. I think it's really about us, our energy, on both ends of the floor, moving the ball, sharing it. I thought we got good shots. We didn't make them. And like Nate said, they did a good job of switching, and those guys did a good job of keeping us in front. We got to get a little bit more movement, but it's not about one guy, It's not about, the leading scorer. I'm just tell you right now, for the whole season, we're going to have different guys leading this team in scoring. So, it really wasn't about that. It was really more about, the energy that we, had some inconsistencies in. And I think that really spilled over to our offense a little bit. But we got good shots, some that we could make and some that we didn't. But it really falls back into the, our concentration and our energy effort.
Adrian, one of the things I was curious about is you've struggled to rebound the ball here the last couple of days, and I'm curious about what your thoughts are about that.
Well, we didn't struggle yesterday against probably one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the country. So today we didn't do a good job on the glass, and I think that's the things that we know we have to continue to work on and get better at, right? But I think we can battle. Houston was one of the better offensive rebounding teams, and close that margin. Today we didn't do that, and I think that impacted the game.
Coach, since you host Tennessee next Tuesday, I was curious if you're going to take advantage of the opportunity for some in-person scouting this afternoon.
I don't play them enough. I don't need to do any in-person scouting. I'm very familiar with Tennessee, Coach Barnes, what their program is about, and so we got one more game here. That's all I'm worried about right now is figuring out who our opponent is and getting ready for that.
Adrian, what is level 5 energy to you, and where specifically did you see it lacking today?
I think when you talk about level 5 energy, it's about 5 guys connected, our bench connected, everybody in sync, and I think everyone that's followed Syracuse has had a glimpse of that. I thought yesterday, was a glimpse of that as well, and it's just giving your all, maxing out effort, max out effort, giving your all on both ends of the floor.
Coach, you guys shot just over 30% from the field today. Just what's your message to your guys to get them back on track?
It's about our effort. Try not to focus. We don't want to focus on makes and misses. We want to focus on our effort. Everything that we're doing in this program is really about effort. Effort, right? Like we've shifted the focus on getting energy from making shots. Right? That's the shift that we've made, and our coach is about level 5 energy and effort. Because typically when that happens, everything else works itself out.
Coach, obviously the last 2 days it's Q1 opponents, top 10 defenses per KenPom. You mentioned lessons you're learning. How does the competition, especially against that caliber of competition, help the players, help the team, but also help you, especially still a young season, you got a lot more basketball left to play?
I think you always pull something from every game. In particular, you know, when you play in this field, you know, with the competition, that's some of the best in the country. You know, you get a chance to see where you're at. You know, you get a chance to kind of, that's your barometer to see where you're at. You know, we played against, you know, 2 Hall of Fame coaches and 2 great programs. So we get a chance to, you know, see where we're at, you know, what we need to get better at. You know, this November, we know that we're still a work in progress. You know, I think it gives you a good barometer as a coach, and I think as players, you know, to pull from this experience and you know, move forward.
Thanks, Coach.
Adrian, I think you actually asked this yesterday, but you know, how do you get you guys ready for now 3rd game in 3 days and what is really kind of a unique format?
Yeah, you know, we'll get back today and you know, get some food and kind of stick to our routine. You know, hydrate, get our recovery. We got a great recovery team. I mean, you know, so man, that's all you can do. These are we know what these tournaments are about. These guys love that. I'm pretty sure they love to play more than they practice sometimes. So I'm sure they'll be excited. You know, we'll be ready to play.
Questions from players too?
Adrian, last year Nate King shot the ball very well, especially from 3 at Oregon State. He's been struggling this year, struggling especially these past 2 days. Can you talk about what's going on with his shot? Is he getting good shots?
You know, I think what Nate has done is he's really competed on the defensive end and rebounding. So he's doing a lot more for us this year. And, you know, again, you know, he'll settle down and make shots. You know, he's one of the best shooters I've seen. So I'm not worried about him making shots. I think he'll settle down and make some shots. But he's getting good shots. He's not forcing any. You know, he's getting good looks. Our guys are starting to, you know, doing a good job of getting him some looks and looking for him, and they got ultimate confidence in him, and we have confidence in him.
JJ, Flory Badunga scored 11 early, and then he didn't do much after that. What was the key to changing that?
I mean, coming in, our focus was, you know, they're going to drive and get in the paint and look for the bigs. I feel like our bigs did a good job of doing their work early, so we couldn't get, you know, deep post touches, and that allowed us to, you know, get them out of the flow of the game.
Question's gonna be over here on the left. Got time for a couple more.
Hi. So one thing that I'm seeing from your coach is a huge component of trust. How has that benefited you guys as players to know that your coach isn't just gonna take you out off of a little mistake? He's gonna hold you accountable and allow you to get those reps and comfortability on the floor. How has that benefited you guys knowing you have a coach that's gonna stick behind you and let you get those reps, let you get comfortable on the floor?
Nathan first, then JJ.
I mean, it's everything. That's really what you want in a coach, and that just makes you want to go hard for him. And having that support, knowing that he has your back no matter what, through the good and bad, just means a whole bunch to us. So yeah, it makes us want to run through a wall for him.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is my 3rd year playing for coach, so you know, just building that trust is big time, like Nate said, and that's what you want as a player, to instill that confidence in you. And you know, it's early in the season, so I feel like we're still working towards that, but having that trust from coach to be able to play, do mistakes, and you know, stuff like that, it's just big time.
Got time for one more. Next one here on the left.
This is for JJ. This is like your 2nd game back coming off of the injury. First up, like physically, how are you feeling? And then what's the process been for you in terms of having to get back in the fold coming off the injury in the 1st game of the year, and also trying to incorporate yourself back with the rest of the team?
Yeah, I mean, I'm back fully healthy. Now it's just finding my rhythm back, you know, just playing with high energy, high effort, and then just allowing those things to take care of yourself. You know, I feel like I'm doing a better job binding defensively, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. And then, you know, I know I can score, but you know, I'm not focusing on that. I know it's going to come. My teammates have been, you know, finding me open looks, so I know eventually things are going to go the way we want it to go.
Thank you.